like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have your self to blame, y'all. Ticket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth on LGBTC. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yep, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
Hear me now, man. Y'all hear me now? Y'all can't hear me. That's why I always do the mic check, man. Press 2, man. Press 2 if y'all can hear me now, man. Y'all should be able to hear me, man. I try to reset the settings. Sometimes I be doing like that. That's why I always do the mic check. They be thinking I be capping when I be doing the mic check. Now I be doing it for real. Sometimes I do it because I had the mic on mute on accident, or sometimes the system would be messed up, man. But clout chasing gone wrong. And let me shout out a couple people who sent donations, man. I appreciate you, Terrence, man. Salute to you for the donation and the Cash App. Alexis, salute to you for the donation and the Cash App, sister. Alexis Fowler, Belinda Washington, salute to you. Brenda Johnson, salute to you, my sister. Sophia, much love to you, my sister. I love you. Appreciate y'all for showing love and supporting the channel. Let's get into this video. Clout chasing goes wrong, man. And I try to tell people, man, when you act like you know the truth behind all this stuff and you ain't never really been around these people like that, man, and you talking about people who actually been in the room, you can't do that without repercussions, man. I'm trying to tell y'all this. You cannot talk that talk. You ain't been, like I said before, Terrence Howard said what he said with conviction. He said what he said standing on what he meant. And so you had people that came out, specifically, you know, a hater. You understand what I'm saying? And basically was out here trying to say Terrence Howard was a liar. Well, Terrence Howard not playing that game. He's not playing that game. You understand what I'm saying? Terrence Howard have come out and basically laid down the law. Now, y'all smash the like button, share, and subscribe because we definitely fit to get to this one. we fitting to get to this one right here. Because see, this is where the lies end and the truth begin. Right here. For the whole world to see. Right? It's going to be put on full display. Now, let's get to the funk, ladies and gentlemen. Terrence Howard, in response to people or a particular hater saying that he was lying about the situation with Diddy. Now, for you guys who don't know what happened or haven't been on planet Earth, basically Terrence Howard came out and said that Diddy called him, asked him to help him with an acting role. He got over there to do the acting, to help him with the acting role, and Diddy didn't say nothing, just staring at him. Just staring at him the whole time. Didn't say nothing. Didn't tell him what they was working on, nothing. Said Diddy called him back over, wanted to work on his music. You know what I'm saying? He said Diddy just stared at him. Didn't say anything about any type of music, just stared at him the whole time. Just was staring at him. So he said his assistant came back to him and said, look, Diddy wants to see you again. He said, for what? You know what I'm saying? The assistant said, I think he wants to F you. Well, people tried to come out and say he was lying. And now Terrence Howard says, no. You're not going to play with me like that. I don't do that type of foolishness. See, this is why I try to tell y'all. People try and demonize people when they come out here and speak the truth. And now, see, Terrence Howard, he get down funky with you. See what I'm saying? See, he come down here on these social media streets and clean this stuff up. All these dudes out here lying, making a living off of making up shit that they don't know nothing about. They ain't been around nobody, don't know nobody. Take a picture with somebody, make it seem like, bro, you can go to a basketball game and take a picture with a celebrity. Don't mean you know them. Let's just keep it 100. Thou shall not lie. Thou shall not lie. Let's get to it. Terrence Howard, in response to people who said he was lying. Even Diddy didn't come out. I want y'all to think about this. Even Diddy didn't come out and say, hey, man, Terrence Howard lying. Diddy didn't even come out and say that. But, again, Diddy protector. You understand? Watch these people, these same people, masquerading. You think that, hey, man, these people, man, go along, get along. They driving the bus. Let's get to it.
Listen, before y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open, with his name, his chest out, his chin high. Not hiding behind a keyboard or tucked behind editing clips of fair use disclaimers. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or others' reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination. So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations. Because in the old world, men didn't hide behind anything when they spoke against someone. They had to speak it with their whole being. And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man. If you're going to talk about the geometry, have other geometries to argue against it. If you're going to talk about the supersymmetry, speak of other supersymmetries that would work against it. If you're going to talk about the white papers, provide your own white paper as an argument to argue against the equations or the conclusions. But we're going to do this respectfully, otherwise we'll end in a duel. And I mean a duel, real life duel, where only one person walks away. We can meet with guns, bottles, knives, or books and equations. But we're going to do this like men. So, get ready.
Well, Terrence said he sound like he willing to do this. However, now, bro, listen, I'm finna tell y'all something, man. This is the part where you can't tell people what they experienced or didn't experience if you wasn't there. Just as simple as that. If you wasn't there, you didn't know nobody that was in the room, you can't say what did or didn't happen. You don't know anybody in the room. You've never talked to anybody that's in the room. And like Terrence Howard said, if you have, say it with your chest. Say it out loud. Say who it is. If that's the case, if you're going to character assassinate the guy and say he's lying, the same way they say that everybody's lying on Diddy, just absolute buffoonery. Buffoonery. See, you go to church every single Sunday. It's 1,000 devils sitting in that congregation. Just because you go to church don't mean that you saved and sanctified. Because everybody have sinned and come short. But some of y'all, man, you just wasting your time. Because you ain't trying to get right. At all. You just faking it till you make it. Point blank, period. So when you come out and say, hey, man, Terrence is lying. This is this is that. But then Columbus Short came out and he had a similar story about how Diddy wanted him to acting coach and all this other stuff. And then he goes over there. Diddy calls him 2 o'clock in the morning and says, yo, come over here, man. We having a what you call it? And he said, well, who else is over there? No, it's just me. Well, I guess he lying too, right? I guess the actor Columbus Short lying too when he said Diddy called him in front of his wife 2 o'clock in the morning. He put the phone on speakerphone. I guess he lying too. I guess he lying when he said he escaped from over there when he went over there a different day to a party where Diddy was at, and he said he didn't feel right after he took a drink and went to the bathroom and threw up and got the hell up out of there. I guess he was lying about that too, right? I guess all those other people in those lawsuits who claim the same type of shit happened to them, where they allege they went to these parties and had drinks spiked and didn't feel the same and woke up with this dude allegedly on top of them. I guess all of them are lying too. I guess Cassie is lying until that damn tape came out and proved that she was telling the truth. And I guess everybody else is going to be lying when they go into court, all the co-conspirators, and they give this dude ass up in front of the world because they don't want to do the time. That's why you have people giving proffer agreements. Don't ask me, read the paperwork. You can't come walking and talking unless you have studied to show thyself approved. If you have not studied, if you have not went out here and read these paperwork, read these court filings, know what's going on, you cannot speak. Says it right there in the paperwork. Although the defendant Diddy slings plenty of mud about the non-statutory victims' accounts, he has yet to produce any contrary evidence and did not attach it to his motion. By contrast, the government has provided detailed proffers. What is a proffer? You know what a proffer is? You know what a proffer is? A proffer agreement, ladies and gentlemen, is an agreement also known as a proffer letter or queen for a day. It is a written agreement between a prosecutor and a defendant. A defendant or witness. When everybody says, well, what about all these other people that's supposed to be charged with Diddy? They all snitching. Proffers. Allowing the defendant, right? Because Diddy's a defendant. So his code is basically to provide information about a crime without the government using that information against them in later proceedings, except for certain exceptions. But for the most part, they won't come get you. That's basically what happened in this case. It tells you right here in the paperwork. Right there. It says, by contrast, the government has provided proffers of each of the victims' anticipated testimony and corroborating evidence. You know what that means? That's basically telling you that, hey, man, some of these people may have been complicit in some of these activities, but they are indeed, some of them, victims of crimes themselves. And so for their testimony, we have allowed them to have proffers. It's right there in the paperwork. Read it. It said further, the accounts of the non-statutory victims and those of the statutory victims corroborate each other. The corroboration, together with the detailed proffers of each victim's anticipated testimony, is sufficient to satisfy Rule 104's low threshold for reliability. They got rats in his circle. People that are codees, some are victims and some are witnesses. But so that they don't get caught up in the criminal activity, they've decided to give up the information on Diddy, along with evidence. Because remember, you have to read the key words. Read the key words. This is why people have to read and study. At all times, it is important as a community that we study. It says, by contrast, the government has provided detailed proffers of each victim's anticipated testimony. And what's the last two words, y'all? Corroborating evidence. Remember I told y'all going to see the evidence in court? Remember I told y'all that? You're going to see the evidence in court? But everybody lying, slandering these people, right? When the government says they have the corroborating evidence, they've already given it to Diddy. Everybody wants to talk about everybody else lying, but nobody want to call out Diddy's team for lying. The lawyer came out and lied about the baby oil at Costco's. Lied about it straight up. Diddy lied about Cassie's situation until the video came out. They lied about the video being destroyed until they came out and said, hey, man, the video ain't destroyed. We got the video right here, and it's going to be used in court. All these lies. They will all be exposed in front of the world. And now Terrence Howard, you guys have awoken a man who bothers nobody. Terrence Howard ain't running around here bothering nobody. He was asked a question after he exposed these chumps. And think about this, y'all. Why ain't none of the celebrities coming back at Terrence Howard? Why is it only a dude on YouTube that act like he know all these celebrities and don't know none of them? No. Make it make sense. But you'll defame and degrade this dude, and you don't even know nobody in the room. Think about that. I want y'all to really think about it. And people listen to this stuff and think that it's the truth behind this, the truth behind. How you know the truth behind something you weren't in the room and you don't know nobody that was in the room? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Meanwhile, you have a dude that was in the room telling y'all what was going on. And people say, nah, he lying, he capped. What you mean? What is we talking about? This nigga don't have a history of lying and capping on people. Where is it at? So now you want to play. Terrence Howard say, hey, let's play. But I ain't the one to play with. That's what Terrence Howard said.
Listen, before y'all talk about me, y'all need to talk to me. You see, once upon a time, if a man questioned another man's honor, he didn't do it from the shadows. He had to do it out in the open. With his name, his chest out, his chin high. Not hiding behind a keyboard or tucked behind editing clips of their useless language. You see, citing Section 107 of the Copyright Act does not give you free rein to defame, misrepresent, or others' reputation. Fair use is not a shield for character assassination. So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar.
And he's talking about all of these people on all the different things that he said in that interview in the PDB podcast, because you had different people attacking different things he said. But the biggest thing was that Diddy thing. But for shits and giggles, he gonna let you know, hey man, you want smoke on anything else? We can get that too. Like I said before, man. Ask him again. Tell him to ask Terrence Howard again. Do you stand on what you said when you spoke about Diddy? Everybody keeps talking about, oh, well, he said his assistant told him. Well, guess what? He called out all those people that was at the Diddy parties and said all of them gave up their manhood. That's exactly what he said. They all gave up their manhood. He spoke about Justin Bieber and all these people. Ain't none of them people say nothing to him. Ain't none of them people come out and say, hey man, you lying, Terrence. Just dudes on YouTube. A dude on YouTube said it. Not the people he was talking to. I want y'all to think about this. Even Diddy didn't come out and say, yeah, man, he lying. We didn't hear no quote from Diddy saying that Terrence Howard is lying. We didn't even hear from Diddy saying that Columbus Short was lying. The other actor. Right? Think about it now. Think about it now. And somebody says, so it took a YouTuber to get him riled up. Nah. It took him wanting to stand on truth and principles and morals and ethics and honor, which people try to strip from you. Y'all get mad when don't nobody say nothing about certain situations. But when he speak up about, and it's something that you want to be hidden, now it's a problem. Nah, man. Y'all want these people to be normal people. Y'all want them to get down on the real level. That's what he doing. Check it or respect it. Check it or respect it. Like he said, if you're going to call me a liar, be prepared to come out and stand on that shit. Because like he said, he ain't mince words when he said what he said about Diddy, because Patrick David Better asked him, so what are you talking about? He said, I said what I said. I'm saying what I'm saying. That's exactly what he said. He didn't mince words. He called out all those celebrities that was at those parties. He said all of them got their cheeks taken. All of them got their manhood taken. Didn't none of them come out and say nothing? Think about that now. That's the part y'all didn't even think about. Ain't none of them come out and say, hey, man, this is cap, bro. You lying, bro. None of them came out and went against that, what he said. None of them. Why not? Why didn't any of the celebrities challenge Terrence Howard on what he said? Why? Think about it now. Unless they may know he can prove it was true. Think about it. And then people want to show a picture and say, oh, you was at a Diddy party. That wasn't a Diddy party. That was not a Diddy party in that picture. But they want to lie about that. And look at Monet Fire says, but he didn't, please. Ma'am, don't you understand that there were certain events that actors, celebrities, athletes went to? They weren't necessarily, those weren't Diddy parties. There were certain events, meet and greets that these people go to. Those aren't Diddy parties, like where Diddy's hosting this party. Those are different events. You might see a person. At that time, he might have seen Diddy and didn't even know Diddy was on that. So the time him and Diddy took the pic, they could have been cool. He thought Diddy was cool. Diddy come back later on after he do Hustle and Flow or whatever it is, hit him up like, yo, come through. Yo, I want you to help me on acting and some stuff like that. He come over, this man staring at him the whole time. Ain't even saying nothing, just staring at him. Go back over again. What he doing? Staring at him again. When he asked about the music, staring at him again. Then he says his assistant told him, hey, man, did he want to see you again? He's like, for what? I mean, that would be a logical question. What do you want to see me for? I went over there 2 times, man, just sat there and stared at me. Oh, I think he wants to F you. Nobody asked, why would the assistant say that? Why would the assistant say that? The assistant would say that because maybe they was presented with that. Shout out to Big Gene Deal. He explained that to y'all. Gene Deal had a lot of time around Diddy. He said that's how Diddy operate. I guess Gene Deal lying too. Nah, I think I'm going to trust Gene Deal. He was around the man every single day. It's around him every day. It's around him every day. Right? And so what makes Terrence Howard a great actor is that nigga be on that in real life, though. Hey, yo, he be on that Lucius shit in real life. He said, yo, you come see me face to face. Say that. But I'm going to say it again. That man, I'm going to say it one more time. Terrence Howard called out the entire industry. Not one celebrity came and said, you're lying. Where they at? Where the celebrity at? The nigga on YouTube gonna say something. Not the celebrity. Think about this now. Not the people he called out. None of the people he called out came out and said, hey, man, this dude's lying, bro. Not one of them. Y'all got to think about this. Make it make sense. Right? Make it make sense. But somebody else will come off and tear down this man's character and say this man is lying. And come on, bro. Come on, bro. Hey, there'll be no Kwame Brown slander in this channel. Kwame Brown, a real one. He actually stand up against it, go along, get along gang. There'll be no Kwame Brown slander in this channel. I'm just going to warn you that right now. That's the homie. I respect him to the utmost. Straight like that. And I hate that it got to be like this, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Why ain't none of the celebrities say he lying? Terrence Howard said all of them got their cheeks taken. He didn't mince words. He said all of them. All of them. Listen to what he said. He said all of them. Listen to what he said. Let's listen to what he said. He said all of them.
You know, there's a short life in...
Why do you think that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting.
Pastor, you want a link? I'll let you come in here and cook on these chumps. You want a link, man? You want a link? Because hopefully you got a second, man. Because they say, and I'm gonna say it again. He called out all them celebrities. Ain't none of the celebrities come out here and say he lying. None of the celebrities came out here and questioned what Terrence Howard said. Because they knew if they questioned what he said, they knew he was gonna get surgical with that thing. They knew he was gonna get surgical. So they all quiet.
And they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it. A man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that...
All of them. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. All of them. They gave up their manhood. He said that was all of them. He didn't say, nah, that one right there, they didn't do it. He said all of them. Ain't nobody say nothing. They ain't say nothing. Terrence Howard was a celebrity. Don't tell me, oh, I didn't answer because he was insignificant. No, Terrence Howard is a celebrity on the highest order. He said all of them. Ain't none of them say nothing in defense of themselves. You think about this. You have somebody who don't know nothing come out defending these people. They can't even defend themselves. I know one damn thing. Nigga ain't take my cheeks, nigga. You ain't finna sit up here and say that about me. Think I'm gonna be quiet? They don't know what receipts Terrence Howard may have. So you really can't say nothing. You don't want to get in that back and forth with him. Not Lucius line. No. It's hard out here for
did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever.
And don't you think if he was lying, Justin Bieber would have came out and sued him? Don't you think Justin Bieber's legal team would have came out attacking Terrence Howard if he's just out here lying, saying these type of statements in the public? Nah, he said that straight like that in the public. He said with his chest out, nigga. You know how the late great Nipsey Hussle said, poke your chest out. He poked his chest out when he said that. They ain't say nothing. Period. Justin Bieber in the blogs every day. He ain't say one word. Ain't say, hey man, this dude's lying. Ain't say nothing. I'm just trying to tell y'all what it is.
You gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have.
Now, what does he mean by that? When he says trade their bodies, he's meaning that they give up all their dignity, right? They sleep their way to the top. That's what he's saying. Oh, he called out the ladies too, but they missed that part. He called out all the ladies that's doing that stuff, that type of stuff too, to get on. Doing whatever you gotta do to get on. See? Try to tell y'all this. Did nobody in the industry come out and say, oh no, I'm exposed Terrence Howard, he's a liar. If anybody in the industry had anything, they would have already exposed him once he said that. They would have came out and said, look, I got this on him right here. He did this. They ain't got nothing. They ain't seen a wiffle ball bat. Period. They ain't seen a wiffle ball bat. They ain't seen nothing. And people say, oh man, YouTube hating on my channel, man. They trying to, nah, man, people tired of hearing that bullshit. They want to hear the truth, man. Period. The truth is always going to set you and keep your ass free. Point blank, period. And sometimes the truth is ugly and we don't like to hear it. But we need to hear it. Even when we do wrong ourselves. Because ain't none of us perfect walking on this earth. None of us. And the man upstairs is going to be the judge of that the day we clock out. But to sit around here and cap and trying to tear a man down for what he said and make him seem like he's a liar when he was there? Shit.
Their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Hey, did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequences
yeah.
when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I'm playing the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolutely. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific reason?
I'm still working. I still. I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe.
So all these people, like I said, all online. Him, Columbus Short. What about the preacher? What about the preacher? Y'all remember the preacher? Right? Y'all remember the preacher? What about the preacher that came out and said that he slept in Diddy's house and saw satanic rituals going on? Was he lying too? Was he lying too? What about him? Was he lying too? These are all the questions I'm going to ask y'all. Was he lying too? Right? Let's talk about that. Y'all didn't know about the preacher? Oh, yeah. Pastor Rod Long. RODLONG of the RIG Global Church in Houston, Texas. Right? He was a former producer for Diddy. This isn't the same, this isn't the Rodney Lil Rod. This is a different one. This is the Pastor Rod Long of the RIG Global Church in Houston, Texas. Is he lying too? So now we're going to say a pastor's lying that come out and admit of his sins and wrongdoing. Because remember, ain't nobody perfect. But the pastor lying too, right? They all lying. All of them lying. Everybody lying. The pastor lying too. Y'all say y'all want the truth and transparency from the pastor. The pastor told y'all, I too have sinned and come short of the glory of God. But now he lying too, ain't he? He lying too. That's what they want to tell y'all.
He comes in, hey, can we film Pastor Rod? I said, for what? He said, he used to be a producer?
Yes.
Of P. Diddy?
Yes.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Wow. Well, we're going to go into all of that. Let's rewind a little bit. How did you get into the music scene?
So I started in music. My father was a pastor. And around the age of 12.
And shout out to Tommy Arayomi. for this right here. He did this interview. Salute to him. Y'all go subscribe to his channel. Listen to this.
As he's growing his ministry, growing his church, he laid hands on me one day. I had no desire for music. I wasn't, playing any instruments. And he said, I'm going to impart a gift to you. I impart the gift of music to you. And he laid hands on me. And over time, so maybe over the next 24 months, over the next couple of years, I started, I could notice I could play a melody with one finger on the piano, and then I could put together chords. I definitely know that it is a gift of God. The Bible says that God distributes gifts unto men, and that not only is it spiritual gifts, but it's also music or maybe business, or there's different things that God distributes to men, and I think definitely that's something I received directly from God.
That's so good, because we often talk about like the Acts 2 outpouring of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
By my spirit, your sons and daughters will prophesy. But we don't often talk about the first outpouring of the Holy Spirit, which was Exodus 31.
Now, let me get right to the part.
All I really had at that point was the music. The music was my go-to. So my mom got me this workstation. I'm in there honing my skills.
Now, he's just basically talking about how he got into the business. So let's talk about Diddy.
And the Motown Talent Search was kind of like American Idol before the technology, before, TV. So if you got that opportunity, you had to take advantage of it because the competition was very stiff. And we got invited out, and we did our thing, and we got invited back to a second round. So we were really, we were like, well, wow, this is crazy. Andre Harrell, Motown, like, man, this is crazy. It all came to an end, though, when I went home one night, and I'm just going over my stuff and going over my raps, and I hear a voice that says, take all your raps and destroy them and burn them.
Now, let's talk about that real quick. He said he heard a voice that said, take all your raps and destroy them and burn them, but he was disobedient. So let's get into that. For
some reason, I knew it was God. I mean, I hadn't had, that many close conversations with the Lord. I mean, I grew up in church, but I knew it was something about that voice. It carried a lot of weight and a lot of conviction. And so in that moment, I decided to obey. And I had a big stack of songs that I had written. Now, they were full of the normal stuff, profanity and whatever rappers were talking about at the time. Women, drugs, violence. And so this voice told me to take the raps, don't just throw them in the trash can, very specific. Take them outside, put gas on them, and burn them. I burned the raps, and I had another conversation with God, and I said, well, if I can't do the raps, I'm gonna at least do the beats, because in my mind, this would be a waste. Like, why would you give me the talent, the ability to create this music? I'm growing, I'm getting sharper, and I'm kind of at an advantage over where most people would be at this point in their career. I've met all of these people. I've gone to New York. I bought equipment. I got to get to the top of this thing. Mm-hmm. And I told God, I'm going to just make the beats. And I did that. I started making beats for more groups, more drug dealers, started making a little more money per beat. I think I started at like $100 a beat, got all the way up to like 700, 1,000. So now things are growing. I'm about 18 years old now, and I moved to Houston.
Let's go right now into like meeting Diddy.
Okay.
What was it like meeting Diddy for the first time?
Meeting him for the first time, it was, number one, it was the dream come true. I met some guys who said that they could get me to him. I'm producing records. They send one of the records, and I get a call, hey, Diddy loves the record. He wants to use it. And I get a check for $7,000 for that little bitty track I did. Probably took me 5 minutes to make the track. So I'm steadily sending more records. And now Diddy wants to meet. Now they're like, they want you to come to New York. So I get on the plane and I go to New York. And I go to Daddy's House Studio, 44th and Broadway in Manhattan. And we're all out there. And Diddy pulls up in a drop-top Ferrari 360 Spider.
What's Daddy's House? What's the reference to Daddy's House?
So Daddy's House, his name was Puff Daddy then. It wasn't Diddy. So Puff Daddy.
Oh, yes, it was Puff.
It was Puff Daddy. So Daddy's House recording studio. Yes.
That was your first encounter with them. What was like your next significant encounter with?
The next significant encounter was in Miami.
Okay.
It was in Miami at a party. I just remember him walking in and asking everybody, hey, what kind of girls do y'all want? And like, you know, a few moments later, the girls came in. And I think somebody said they wanted Puerto Rican girls, and just a bunch of them came in.
Where did they come from?
I don't know. I didn't have the connections with. So, you know, we're in Miami, and that was just, you know, that was just one of the many instances where, like, the power that, you know, this guy could get whatever he wanted. There was already girls there at the party, but I believe these girls came specifically to do whatever we wanted them to do. So,
and it's suffice to say at this point, you're backslidden, you're gone, or there's still a fight in there?
There's still a fight. You know, there's still a fight. I'm dealing with the voice of the Lord every moment telling me to get out of there. And fighting this, I actually feel like I'm going crazy. And I'm trying to share with other people to see if they're going through the same thing, because I know some of the producers and the writers that I'm around, they came from church too. And I'm wondering, like, man, how are y'all, like, not feeling this? Like, because the fire of God is all over me. And I'm like, man, I'm going to lose my mind trying to fight this. So, you know, there was a couple guys I would try to talk to, and I would say, hey, how do you feel about doing secular and, you know, and working for the Lord? Like, how are you feeling about it? And some guys would say, hey, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's just a gift. And so a lot of times I would go back to God, like, God, you know, you gave me the gift. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I struggling emotionally and psychologically?
So tell us about the overall environment of the music industry. You're in now, the secular industry at least. What did you experience, let's say more so from a spiritual Christian's perspective, being inside? What did you experience?
One thing I experienced is that this whole thing is spiritual. Most people would just attribute it to being gifted or being talented. But the spirit realm very much controls what it sounds like, what it looks like, what happens in these rooms, on these records, what's written. I remember even the first record that I did for Bad Boy Records. I remember being in the studio for 4 days straight, no sleep, because I was driven by something more than just my own ability. It was something driving me.
Is it the demonic spirit?
I believe it was a demonic spirit in the sense that if I wasn't in those realms, I couldn't hear the music like that. I couldn't hear it as clear. Like, there were certain sounds and certain things that I could hear and produce that if I wasn't in that mind frame, I wouldn't be able to produce it.
So what got you in that mind frame? What would it be?
It would be focus, just almost channeling something else. Weed, getting in the studio and just, you know, channeling it, just pulling it out. And when I got to a certain level of it, I noticed it could come in 5 minutes. I could just create something, and it would be amazing. Some of the most amazing music I ever heard.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And you described moments where you saw people actually doing seances over their music.
Absolutely.
So what did that look like?
So we would all be in the studio, and it would almost be ritualistic. We would light candles, and as the beats are playing, they would, their hands would be moving like this, and they would be chanting different things over the music alone. This is before it goes to the writers. And honestly, I can hear it in my ears like it was just yesterday. Like it was amazing music. And I again, you don't get to those realms without a supernatural aid or a supernatural guide.
And so fast forward, like your next significant kind of Diddy moment, what was that like?
We spent the time together in New York at Daddy's house. And then when we went to Miami, there was a couple parties. And we never really came one-on-one. You really had to be in his inner circle to get that close to him and to spend that kind of time with him. So being new and coming up through the ranks, and he would come in and say, man, you guys sound amazing, keep going. He would give us encouragement. And, of course, we got on some records, and we made the money, and the doors were opening. And I believe that in the realm of the spirit, should I have taken the different sacrifices and the different sex capades and done all of these things, I think it would have just kept going. But I think the Lord put the brakes on it, and in a way, and put fire on it. So,
and what was like a final straw for you?
So after leaving Miami, there was another party that was happening in Vegas. So everybody flew to Vegas. Hey, you joking? And I said, I'm walking away from it all. And they were like, no, you're not walking away. You need to get here now. And I hung up, and I stopped answering calls. But then the threats started. I started getting threats. We're going to find you. None of these guys knew my mom or where she lived. My mom started calling me, hey, these guys are calling. My wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. They were even calling her house. Yes, they were calling my dad. They even came to my church, it was very scary because I almost felt forced into, I almost felt like, well, I'm going to have to go back into this, and I'm going to have to fulfill it, because I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
Well, it's almost like, I watched this video about the former wife of P. Diddy. I wrote a book about her. I can't remember her name. Kim Porter. And she was speaking about how there was only one way out. Yes. Death. Yes. You're leaving in a body bag. Or I think it was Rihanna when she got signed to Jay-Z. He said something like there are two ways out. You sign this deal or out that window. Yes. She signed because they were on like a 20th floor of a big apartment building. And so these things are like cults. They're not really record labels. Right. Cult following. Absolutely. Wow. Why do you think it was holding on to you so tight? I think one of the reasons is because I got really close and I seen it with my own eyes. I experienced it. And I had the option to say no and to walk away. Right. I got that close. I tasted it. And I still walked away. And I walked away because of the voice of the Lord. And they even came to your church house. They did. So. I told the Lord, Lord, if you help me out of this one, I'll obey you. I'll do whatever you want. And I prayed with a sincere heart. And the call subsided. They stopped. They stopped. But the crazy part is I actually went back to the music. I actually went back. The pull was so heavy. I figured, okay, I got away from them. I'll just carve my own way, and I'll just do it my way this time. Okay. I'll do it in a clean way, God. I'll just. Which seemed to be a thing, a conversation. Yeah. Like, God, I won't do the rap thing. I'll just do the beats, okay? Yeah. And the beats. God, I'll go to Houston, but I'll sit. You're kind of like Lot. I'll sit on the outside. Right. And Gomorrah, then somehow you found your way back in again. I did. So here you are back again. So back in the scene. So what happened was Beyonce's attorney here in Houston, he had a recording studio on the 21st floor of the Great Southwest Building downtown Houston. It was a nice recording studio, small. They gave me access to it. So I would just go in there, and because I didn't want to lose my ability to create, and I was so used to creating every day, and I'm on a run, and I'm like, man, I gotta get somewhere and get back to the music. For somebody that's creative, not to be able to create is almost depression. So I'm like, I gotta find an outlet. So we make a deal. He allows me to use the studio, and I'm in there creating every day, and a lady comes by, and she says, hey, I got some cookies, some ganja cookies. And so I eat one. Well, I eat one of these cookies, and I'm like, man, this is not going to feel nothing. So I eat 2. Then I eat 3. That's some nice cookies. Then I eat 6. Lord have mercy. So after a while, I ate 6 of them. Whew. And after a while, everything I think, say, or do is doubling. Like, I'm hallucinating at this point. And I'm like, man, it didn't feel good. This is crazy. Like, I want out of this. This is, So now I'm panicking. Now I'm having a panic attack. And I'm like, Lord, this is crazy. Like, make it stop. And my mind is like, I'm tripping at this point. Wow. And so I start praying, and I said, Lord, number one, forgive me for this, but help me out of this. And in your trip, did you go into the supernatural? I did. And what did you see? So it's like I entered into a red room. It's like everything became red. And I started calling out to the Lord, but then the demons appeared, and they said, he can't hear you. Just slow down. See, you're in a red room. What do you mean red one? Painted red or blood red? What's the red?
It was just, it's like my vision, everything I saw was just red in color, dark and red.
And then you're calling on Jesus.
I'm calling on the Lord.
Demon or demons?
Demons.
How many?
Oh, it was a bunch of them. They all appear and they're talking, and it's real. And they're talking and they're saying, he can't hear you. And I said, the blood of Jesus. And they said, it's not going to work. And I'm
been told you
it's not going to work. And now, because of that, I'm really terrified now because I grew up, if you say Jesus, the demons got to flee. They got to go.
And now the demons looking at you.
They're like, he can't even hear you.
Oh.
They're like, and I'm like, the blood. And they're like, it's not going to work. They said, we got you. And now you about to die. And now you're going to hell because you disobeyed God. You're going to hell, buddy. And I felt myself going out.
You see them?
I seen them.
What do they look like?
Some of them, they look like gremlins, and one of them looked like a clown, but with a tiny head and a really big. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing I ever seen. And as I'm going through this, I feel myself going out. I feel myself like going out. And so consciously I say, if I can make it to the elevator, because I'm on the 21st floor, there's nobody else there. And this is...
Wait, Cookie Lady's gone?
She's gone.
Oh, she left you. Oh, yeah.
She left me. She been left. Before I even ate the cookie, she was gone.
She left you with 6 cookies inside you?
She left.
Wow. Okay.
And so I said, if I could just get to the elevator, at least somebody will find me if I go out. So I get to the elevator and I hit the first floor and I go out. I'm going under. And the security guy finds me and he calls 911. Now I'm unconscious, but I can hear everything that they're saying, but I can't wake up. And they're saying, oh my God, he's too young to have blood pressure this high, and we got to hurry up and get him to the hospital. And they said that my veins were jumping out of my neck like this. And I get to the hospital, they're running, tubes in me, and, my heart is racing. And I can hear the doctors. The doctors are saying, we can't figure out what it is because it's not physical. There's nothing wrong with him. So I'm like, oh my God, my mind is gone. Like, man, I've literally gone crazy playing with the devil, and now I've lost my mind, And I'm terrified. And I'm out. I can't wake up. It's like the demons are talking. It's torture. And so all of a sudden, I hear the voice of my pastors. They came into the hospital room. I don't know how they heard I was there, but they come in and I can hear them praying, speaking in tongues. And all of a sudden, boom, peace came over me.
Man, let me tell y'all something, man. Bruh, I guess they gonna say he lying too. I guess they gonna say that he lying too. So I guess that all these people are lying. Terrence Howard, Columbus Short, Cassie, Lil Rod. The list goes on. They all lying. They all lying. They're going to probably say Kid Cudi's lying if he testifies. This is like, bro, y'all think about this. Bro, he's accused of blowing up Kid Cudi's car. They said they got witnesses that watched this dude cut the top open of his convertible top and drop a in that thing and set that thing ablaze. But they going to say they lying too. Watch. It's sad, bro. It really is sad. You understand what I'm saying? I told you guys, that's why they call it Holly weird. The more weirder the stories get, people say, oh, I can't believe it. Man, y'all better believe it. Let me tell y'all something, bro. This is the reason why I told everybody to subscribe to my other channel. On my other channel, bro, I talk about so many stories on my other channel. I'm gonna put a link to my other channel in here. Let me tell y'all something, and y'all need to subscribe to my other channel. Do y'all not know all the crazy stuff that goes on in this world on a day-to-day basis? Forget Sean Diddy Combs. Let's forget Diddy. Are y'all watching this stuff that's going on a daily basis around the world? A lot of y'all aren't because y'all at work all the time or y'all just watching a video here, a video there. Y'all not seeing this stuff, man. Bro, you got teachers. Every single day I turn around, it's a new teacher banging a student. Somebody, wife, don't poked up the husband and laying beside him for 30 days in the bed. He's unalived. All these types of stories are going on. All this crazy stuff. Dude putting super glue in the co-workers' drinks. People have seriously lost their minds. This is the real type of stuff that's going on. This is the real type of stuff that's going on. People have seriously lost their minds out here. And it is so many different stories. And that's the reason I talk about this stuff on my other channel. A lot of these other stories that y'all don't see. If y'all are not subscribed to my other channel, matter of fact, I'm going to send y'all a link right now. You need to subscribe to my other channel because on my other channel, you guys are going to see. Because that's why I wanted to start doing a lot of videos like that on my other channel. Because I thought it is very important to talk about all these old weird, old crazy ass stories. Everybody say, "Oh, I don't believe Diddy did all this." Man, don't y'all know there's a white director by the name of James Toback? He just got hit. The courts just ruled for him to pay 100. Let me repeat myself. No, excuse me. 1.68 billion, not million, billion. BILLON, $billion to sexual assault accusers. 1.68 billion. There ain't nobody in the news really talking about that shit. Billion. No federal indictment, no none of this stuff. Well, I ain't seen it. He gonna talk about, "Oh, I'm too old to have did all that." All this type of stuff that's going on, man. Bro, that's why I try to tell y'all. And for people to say, "Oh, I don't believe all this stuff, man, this is crazy." Nah, you crazy. Because you're not paying attention to all the things that's going on in this world right now. This is a dirty world, man. This is a dirty world, bro. And you guys got to see all of the different things that are going on. That's why I try, and even on my podcast show, I try to put up as much content, information as I can to show you guys this stuff, man. If you go look, cause like a lot of y'all are subscribed here, right here on this channel. If you go subscribe to my other channel, it's in the link in the chat room right there. If you go look on my other channel right now, you'll see all these stories I've done videos about that y'all ain't even seen. You just sit up here like, this is crazy, the stuff that's going on. Crazy. Crazy. Some of the most insane things you've ever seen. NBA player, Lamar Odom, who had the worst time of his life around Khloe Kardashian, the Kardashian sister. What does he do? This fool goes and gets a blow-up doll with her picture on it because she don't want to be with him. So he goes to get a blow-up doll with her picture on it so he can do whatever he want to do and fulfill his fantasies with a blow-up doll with her picture. These people have lost their minds. They have lost their minds. So y'all make sure y'all go subscribe. And I did a video on that on my other channel. Y'all didn't even see that. Y'all over here, y'all ain't even on my other channel. So the other videos on my other channel, they're shorter videos. They're not lives like these videos. So make sure you click that link that's pinned at the top of the chat, and y'all go subscribe to my other channel. We almost at 100,000 subscribers on my other channel. So make sure a lot of y'all over here are not even subscribed over there. So make sure y'all go subscribe to my other channel. Y'all will see all those other stories on my other channel. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Let me know what y'all think, man. Crazy.
All right, you guys. So we appreciate everybody that popped in, supported this video. Make sure that you guys shop our merch. We got that new A Weapons merchandise right there below this video. All you gotta do is look below. The links will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well to get the merch, to donate, support the channel, and subscribe to our podcast show. You'll see all those links pinned at the top of the comment section of this video. And we appreciate everybody that supports this channel and our networks. Also, that straight drop weight loss formula. Go to the website. You guys will see that. A link for that will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well. Go right there for all of your weight loss needs. Straight drop weight loss formula. We have a lot of testimonials on the website. You can go to www.str-8-drop.com and get you some of the weight loss formula today. Take your weight loss serious. Get in the gym, work out, exercise, and do what you got to do to stay on point. We appreciate everybody that's been locked into this video. Again, all the links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. Salute to all of y'all. And again, we appreciate everybody who support what we doing over here.